I want to ask you something, and I'd love for you to really sit with it before you answer. When did you last do something, anything that was purely, completely, unapologetically for you? Not for your kids, not for your partner, not because someone needed you or expected it from you, just for you. Because you wanted it, because you deserved it, because it made you feel alive. Take a moment, really think about it. For a lot of women, that question brings up a kind of uncomfortable silence, a pause that stretches longer than expected. And if you're sitting there right now thinking, I honestly can't remember, or worse, you feel a little guilty even considering it, this video is for you. Stay with me. I remember a moment, and I know I'm not the only one who has had this, where I was sitting at the kitchen table after everyone had gone to bed. The dishes were done, the lunches were packed for the next day, the permission slips were signed, the laundry was in the dryer. Every item on the list had been crossed off, at least for today. And I just sat there in the quiet, and I thought, what do I actually want? Not what needs to get done tomorrow, not what would make things easier for everyone else, not what I should want. What do I, just me, actually want right now? And I had no answer. I sat there for a while, genuinely trying to find one, and I couldn't. I didn't know anymore. That scared me more than I expected it to, because I used to know. There was a time when I had opinions about how I wanted to spend my time, when I had things I looked forward to that had nothing to do with anyone else's needs, when I had a sense of myself that existed separately from my roles, from being someone's mother, someone's partner, someone's daughter, someone's colleague. But somewhere along the way, that sense of self had gotten quieter and quieter, and I hadn't even noticed it happening. I had become so good at reading everyone else's needs, anticipating them, solving them, showing up for them before they even had to ask, that I had completely lost track of my own. And the worst part, I had done it to myself, not because anyone forced me, not because I was a victim of some dramatic circumstance, but slowly, quietly, over years. One small sacrifice at a time, one it doesn't matter, you choose at a time, one I'll do it, don't worry about me at a time. Here's what I've come to understand after a lot of reflection. Women are not born this way. We are trained this way. From the time we're little girls, we're taught that being kind means putting others first. That being a good mother, a good partner, a good daughter, a good friend means giving and giving and giving some more. We're praised for being helpful, for being considerate, for not making a fuss. We learn that taking up space with our needs, our wants, our opinions can make people uncomfortable. And so we learn to make ourselves smaller. Selflessness is presented as a virtue, as something to be proud of, and caring for others is genuinely beautiful. I want to be very clear about that. There is nothing wrong with love, with generosity, with showing up for the people in your life. Those are good things. But nobody tells us the other side of that story. Nobody sits us down and says that constantly putting yourself last isn't noble, it's a slow erasure. That giving from a place of depletion isn't generosity, it's self-destruction dressed up as virtue. That at some point, if you never refill the well, it runs dry. And when that happens, when you have poured out every last drop of yourself for everyone around you, there is nothing left. Not for them, and certainly not for you. When you keep pouring out of a cup and never fill it back up, eventually there's nothing left. Not for anyone else, and certainly not for yourself. That is not a metaphor. That is what burnout feels like. That is what resentment feels like. That is what it feels like to go through the motions of your own life without actually being present in it. So I want to ask you again, and this time I mean it even more personally. What have you given up? Not consciously, not dramatically, but quietly, over time. What parts of yourself have you set aside because they did not fit into the schedule, or seemed selfish, or just kept getting pushed to the back of the list until the list disappeared entirely? Maybe it was a hobby you loved, something that was just yours, that made you feel creative or strong or simply happy. Maybe it was friendships you let fade because you were too busy, too tired, too stretched to maintain them. Maybe it was a dream you stopped letting yourself have because it started to feel foolish or unrealistic, or like something that belonged to a younger, freer version of you. Maybe it was even smaller than that. Maybe it was just time to sit in silence, time to read a book without interrupting yourself to check on someone, time to finish a thought, time to exist without being needed. That discomfort you might be feeling right now as you sit with that question, that quiet ache of recognition, is the thing we need to talk about. Not push past, not explain away, talk about. Because you matter, not as a function, not as a role, not as the person who keeps everything running. You, as a full human being with your own interior life, matter. And it is time to start acting like it. Here is the good news, and I genuinely mean this. None of this is permanent. You are not lost. You have not missed your chance. You have just been looking in the wrong direction for a long time. And the moment you decide to look inward, things begin to shift. Let me give you 3 small things to start. Not a massive life overhaul. Not a list of demands that require you to restructure everything tomorrow. Just 3 small, real shifts that you can begin today. First, carve out 1 moment per day that belongs only to you. Even 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes of scrolling, not 5 minutes spent mentally running through tomorrow's schedule, but genuinely yours. A walk around the block. A coffee sitting down, not standing at the counter. 5 minutes of sitting outside and noticing what the air smells like. Whatever it is, protect it. Treat it as non-negotiable, because it is. Second, practice saying no without an explanation. This one is harder than it sounds because most of us have been taught that no needs to be justified, that we owe people a reason. Some people think that saying no without a lengthy apology and a list of alternative solutions is somehow rude. It is not. The sentence, "No, that doesn't work for me," is a complete sentence. You are allowed to say it, and you are allowed to mean it. You do not owe anyone a reason for choosing yourself. Third, once a week, just once, ask yourself, what do I want? Not what do I need to do? Not what should I want? What do I actually want? And then write the answer down, even if it feels small, even if it feels selfish, even if you have no idea how to make it happen yet. Write it down, because once you start listening to that voice again, it grows louder, and you begin to remember that it was always there. You had just stopped paying attention to it. You are not a supporting character in someone else's life. You are not the background. You are not the person who holds everything together while quietly coming apart at the seams. You are the main character of your own story, of your one life. And you are allowed, you are supposed to live it like you know that. This is not easy work. Unlearning years of putting yourself last doesn't happen in a day or a week or even a month. But it starts with a decision, a quiet, private, deeply personal decision to take yourself seriously, to treat your needs as real, to stop waiting for permission to exist fully. You don't need permission. You never did. If this resonated with you even a little, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Tell me, when was the last time you did something purely for yourself? And what was it? I read every single one, and you might be surprised how much it helps just to name it out loud. You are not alone in this, not even close. Next week, we will go even deeper. We will talk about why so many women do not think they are beautiful and the real reason behind that. It is not what you think. But before you go, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying until the end. And most of all, thank you for taking this time for yourself today. That already says something about you. If this video spoke to you, please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you do not miss the next episode. Hit that button, and I will see you next week.